3 rebounds. The Mount was down 7 with 2.5 to go in the first half. Ended up ahead by 2 at the break. Norfleet. Now Sam Prescott. He misses from 3. Rebounded by Mario Moody. Moody will play with Harris, Ortiz, Fullahan, and Anderson. And it's poked away from Anderson. Another Wagner turnover leads to another Mount basket in transition. Sam Prescott.
12th turnover, 21 points, makes the free throw, could be 22. Here's the trap, forces you to back up and get you on the heels, head up, layup.
Sam Prescott has 4 points. The senior from Philadelphia completes the three-point play. He now needs 9 points for 1,000 in his career.
The made free throw allows Mount to set up the press. Here comes a trap at half court.
And a collision at half court. Second foul on Prescott.
Wagner has to make sure that they don't run away from the ball. You can't leave Ortiz out there by himself. He has to have an outlet, whether it's in the middle, on his hip, left next to him, left or right.
Ortiz has the rookie Nwandu all over him. Ortiz hanging and hitting.
You know, sometimes it's not how many baskets you make, it's when you make them. Here's the drive. Uses his body. He's a short little guy, kind of like a Velton Jones, who was a great player for Robin Mars. This kid leads by example. His work ethic, his hustle on the court is tremendous.
Third team All-NEC last year. Can't complete the three-point play. Prescott ahead to Wack. Danaher saved it. And he went over the back. The ball went over the backboard.
Yeah, it went over that right corner, and the rule is anytime it goes, it can hit up on the top, and it can actually roll along the top. Once it goes over any part of that backboard, it's a violation.
Mario Moody. And Fullahan with another foul. That's his third. Tried the swim move to get around his man for the rebound.
Yeah, you can't get away with that move. The referee's right there. You know, if you're going to go right and get blocked down, make a spin move, get to the left, but don't push. He got caught, and Fullahan goes to the bench, and that's a big foul right there. Takes away your shot blocker.
He'll sit for a while with 3. Norfleet. Nwandu. Offensive foul. Wagner draws the charge. Orlando Parker.
Here's the kick. Good position right there. That time Parker got outside the arc, got his feet set. Good defensive stop.
Allows the Mount to set up their full court pressure, though. Steele. Inside. Wack. Deals to Graves. Ortiz needs some help. Or not. Parker. Right back at him. Wack couldn't get it. And Moody grabs the rebound. Moody with 8 boards. Parker again.
Partner, we better buckle in. This game is going up in town. Both teams are playing at a frenetic pace. Fun to watch. Good basketball.
High scoring. Norfleet stops on a dime. Finds Graves. Harris with the lead to Moody. Uncatchable.
Yeah, and you can see Bashir Mason right there is not happy. But when you play at a pace like this, it means there's more possession. So turnovers aren't as costly.
The third in the second half for Mason and Wagner. Wagner's won 5 straight against the Mount. And they have dominated the series here as well at Knott Arena. Will Miller for 3.
And Norfleet that time gets 2 ball screens. He goes from right to left. He draws the D. He kicks it out again with an over the head left-handed pass. Will Miller better make sure he takes out Julian Norfleet to dinner tonight after this game.
Miller has 3 threes. Rivers off the scramble to Moody. Mario Moody is a dunking machine. He has 8. Norfleet, what a move. His 3 is good.
And Julian Norfleet continues to impress. This is a young man who's averaging 20 and 6. And, you know, Mount St. Mary's has played 6 guaranteed games against upper-level teams. West Virginia, Villanova, BYU, Michigan State, Penn State, Texas Tech. He's done it against some of the best teams in the country.
The Mount has 7 threes. Norfleet now 17 points. And they stepped out of bounds. 4 turnovers here in the second half. Norfleet has really impressed. Look at that move.
How did he see him? He steps back, and he knocks it in. Doing it all.
Over 1,300 career points, 19th all-time at the Mount. And there have been some great players here, some great guards. Chris McGuthrie, Riley Inge, Gregory Harris, Landy Thompson. You can go up and down the line. Fred Carter. Through the hands of Graves, and Harris tripped up from behind. Up and down we go. Mount St. Mary's leading by 5. More NEC basketball after this.
And even guys on the bench that are just fantastic athletes that most teams in this conference can't compare to.
Ortiz is out there with Rivers, Moody, Harris, and Parker for Wagner. And a whistle. Rivers was fouled. Oh, they got Parker away from the ball. His second foul. So, Ryan, what have you seen the first couple weeks here of NEC play? Wagner has started off 2-0, but has anybody really separated from the pack?
I think the most impressive to me has been Robert Morris so far. With Carvel Anderson, he stepped up and been a big-time scorer for them, averaging 34 points in his first 2 games, and he had 17 at the half tonight against St. Francis, Pennsylvania.
Gregory Graves hits for the Mount.
He's a guy who could score anywhere on the floor.
Kenneth Ortiz is fouled. I mean, you lose Felton Jones, you lose Karan Williams, and Andy Toole always retools.
Yeah, one coach in the NEC told me in the offseason that Robert Morris, they're the Patriots of the NEC. Andy Toole has a 41-15 career regular season record in the NEC, which is incredible considering he's only in his 4th year of coaching.
Patriots, Colonials, it's appropriate. Looked like Central Connecticut would have a good team this year, but they've had injury problems and all kinds of problems.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're one of the sleepers that I promoted in the offseason. But when you lose your 2 biggest scorers, Matthew Hunter and now Kyle Vinales with a broken finger, that's just really difficult to overcome, especially in a league that has 8 or 9 teams that could compete with you every night.
We talked about St. Francis, New York, and their great win over Miami and some of their other good wins, and even a good loss against Syracuse. They have a nice combination of talent, too, with Brent Jones at the point, Mockford as the shooting guard, and Jalen Cannon's a pull inside.
Yeah, Jalen Cannon's one of the best rebounding forwards in the league. And, Glenn Brake has done a great job of putting athleticism around Cannon. So now he's got some shot blockers who can play tremendous interior defense. And that's a reason why the Terriers are one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Dwan Anderson misses. And here comes the Mount on the break. Norfleet for three. Tipped in by Graves. Graves with 6. The lead is up to 9. That's the largest for the Mount, and somebody came crashing in with a foul. Foul on Marcus. Oh, they got Dwan Anderson.
And how about FDU? Greg Herenda in his first year. Greg came from UMass Lowell, where, I don't know if you know this, guys, but he actually coached my son at UMass Lowell for a year. So Greg's turned that program. Greg Herenda has, with Sidney Sanders and Matt McDonald's, done a pretty good job there early, beating Rutgers and also Seton Hall.
Ash trying to jam it. Wack follows it up for the Mount. And they are on a roll here. 13 for Wack. The lead is 11. Ryan Peters is with us here from Big Apple Buckets, talking all NEC. The team that I think will be heard from before long is Bryant, a veteran team.
Yeah, they're a team that is one of the better scoring teams in the league. When you have stars in the team like Alex Francis, Deami Starks, and they got a couple underrated guys. I love Courtney Maynard running the point. He's a guy who, like Julian Norfleet, could fill it.
Norfleet continues to click. It's a 19-7 run and 19 points for Norfleet.
Wow, look at Norfleet, double pumping under control. You know what? He is so good. He makes these tough shots look easy.
Great body control.
Yeah, Norfleet's a guy who he came up as a shooter. All he could do is shoot threes as a freshman in Mount, but he's really developed his game into a scorer. He's a guy like Parvo Anderson I mentioned before. He could score anywhere on the floor. It's quite remarkable, the maturation of this kid.
It has been all Mount here in the second half. They now lead it by 14.
No, I was just thinking, when Norfleet comes out of the game, it's a good time to go to the concession stand, because when he's in there, you don't want to miss his play.
Count it, and the foul. Mario Moody having himself another ball game. In his last one against LIU, Moody had 19 points and 10 rebounds. He's now into double figures for Wagner.
Yeah, and here's the drive and the kick by Ortiz. I got a chance to talk to Brashear Mason, and he said Moody's improvement is due to the fact that he now accepts his role and understands how to play effectively in their system.
Yeah, they need him to be a big-time rebounder and shot blocker, a guy who could disrupt defensively around the rim. He's a very difficult guy to play interior offense against.
11 for Moody. About 7 minutes gone by here in the second half at the Mount. Norfleet putting on an exhibition. Wow!
The Mount team does a good job of spacing their perimeter players. It allows him to drive the gaps. Also, you see Taylor Danaher out there setting screens. Here's the spin. And there's the finish. Taylor Danahan's a 5-man who can shoot the three, so that lane is wide open.
To Ryan's point from a moment ago, kind of a one-dimensional, slender player early in his career. He's now looking like a high major kind of player.
Oh, absolutely. I don't want to get too geeky here with advanced stats, but, his comparables this year, you think of Marcus Smart for Oklahoma State, Julius Randle of Kentucky, the big freshman who's going to be a lottery pick, Russ Smith, the senior in Louisville. These are guys that statistically Norfleet is comparing to, and that's a wonderful class to be in.
Very heady company, future pros. Stolen again by the Mount. And the crowd has become a factor. Whack! Got it!
The summer to have an all-around game by studying tape on Stephon Curry. He knew he had to handle the ball better, and he knew he had to distribute better. He has certainly improved in both of those areas, and he has made the Mount extremely dangerous.
Mount trying to go to 2-1 in the league. Harris hit it, but it won't count. Fouled first on the floor. The game that we'll have next on NEC TV next week on Thursday will be LIU Brooklyn at Bryant. That should be a good one. LIU they played well at Indiana. They played well at times, but inconsistent.
I feel bad for Jack Perry because they've been decimated by injuries. You lose Julian Boyd, a player of the year from 2 seasons ago. They lose Nurazana, who in my opinion is one of the best freshmen coming in to the NEC, and he gets injured on a freak injury. The depth is depleted. They have to play a lot of zone now because they get in foul trouble pretty quickly. It's been a tough start, and I don't know if they're going to be able to recover.
And they lost, 2 guys that had led them to 3 straight tournaments, C.J. Garner and Jamal Alas, who are good postseason players, great scorers. They always got to the line. So they're trying to figure it out with a new lineup. Wagner trying to press to get back into this thing, but the Mount sees that in practice every day, and Graves takes it to the rim where he is fouled. A lot going on in the NEC tonight. Elsewhere, St. Francis Brooklyn leading at Central Connecticut. Not a surprise there. FDU big at LIU. Wow. Bryant, 62-53 over Sacred Heart. 7 points for Graves here. And Robert Morris up by 11 against the Red Flash. Gregory Graves, the sophomore from Sterling, Virginia. He has 8. Seems like everybody's contributing now for the Mount. They lead it 66-48 at the 12-minute mark.
I still think Wagner has a run in them. This is an experienced team. There's under 12 minutes to go. And in this game with a lot of possessions, if you can play solid defense, make good decision on offense, you can make a run.
Brian Peters from Big Apple Buckets, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Good stuff. Appreciate it. Mount on top, 66-48 over Wagner here in the NEC.
I'm a student.
All because they've made 7 of their last 9 field goals, a lot of them layups that would not have come with Folahan in the game. Maybe they are getting a lot of transition buckets. Oh, Rivers.
Yeah, that's a good call, Paul. You see Wagner has shifted to a zone defense throughout the game, trying to take away that dribble penetration. But the problem still remains. 18 turnovers and 32 points from Monmouth off those 18 turnovers.
I think Norfleet meant to miss that one and threw it hard off the glass so a teammate would get it. Harris is 3. No. Rashad Wack, the veteran. Wack trying to find Danaher inside, broken up by Kenneth Ortiz, the 2-time reigning NEC Defensive Player of the Year. Bashir Mason calls Ortiz a pit bull. He sets the tone for our team.
And you saw right there why he is a Defensive Player of the Year award winner. When he's on the weak side, he sees the play and he makes the block before the big fella Danaher can bring the ball up above his shoulders.
Joe, we've been following this, so this is really the big number in the game. Wagner has turned it over 18 times, and the Mount has 32 points off of those turnovers.
And again, the points are one thing, but the momentum, the confidence that it gives this Mount team, you can't put a number on it.
Still plenty of time, but the Mountaineers up by 16. Wagner has Ortiz, Harris, Rivers, Burton, and Folahan. A pretty small lineup in there. Here's Burton. Got it.
And a real simple set right there. 5 guys out, drive and kick. That time Burton had the easy 2.
Prescott saved it. Norfleet can take his time here. Not that the Mount ever really takes their time. It'll be interesting to see if Mount St. Mary's changes the way that they play with a big lead. Are they going to continue to take quick shots, or will they work some clock here down the stretch?
I think it's too early for that. I think once you get to 5 minutes, then you can start to work the clock. We talked about Wagner's experience in the backcourt. Mount has some experienced players too, and I like what they did right there. There was a mismatch with Greg Graves on Marcus Burton. They knew immediately to go inside, and now Greg's had a chance to finish it off.
He has 9. Mount relies on him for energy, for rebounds, for help in the press. Harris. Forehand. He'll be shooting 2.
See, when you dribble drive and you get by your defender into the lane, you're going to draw that 5-man. Danaher that time went to the offensive ball, to the dribble driver. Forehand followed the ball, was not blocked out, was able to get the putback. Here it is. Here's the drive. Forehand. Danaher on the help. Loses sight of Forehand. He's able to follow the shot.
Will Miller, the dangerous shooter, is in there for Danaher. Jamie and Christian are very positive, upbeat guys as he's trying to create a culture, create an identity for this Mount program. Forehand, the senior from the Republic of Benin, with his first point. And a bump. Foul on Latif Rivers. That's his first.
And if you're Wagner, there's no question the three-point shot will get you back in the game. But driving the ball to the basket, drawing fouls, getting to the foul line will allow you to catch up slowly with the clock stopped. It will also allow you to sub and maybe set up, sub in your defensive players to set up your press to try and make some steals.
And the whistle is starting to blow more. Both teams with 9 fouls, so they're in the 1-and-1 and then headed to the double bonus on the next foul by the other. 18 points for Rashad Wack. That's over his seasonal average of 15.8, which is 7th in the NEC. Ortiz finds Rivers. It's a bad shot.
It's a bad shot, Dave, because he was backpedaling. Whenever you're not in the position to 1-2 step into your shot, throw a little shot fake. That'll give you time to get set, maybe get the defender up so you can get a better look at the basket.
He made it once earlier in the game and got fouled. He thinks, okay, I can do it again. Here is Burton. Another lay-in for Marcus Burton, the junior. He has 10. Knocked away from Prescott. And the Mount turned it over.
You have to sit here and laugh because Wagner gets a breakaway layup, and you would think the Wagner defense would be back. That's not the case. Norfleet kicks it up to Wack. Wack had the open 3. Unfortunately, couldn't get his hands on the ball. Lost it behind him. Ton of fun with those guys when I used to coach at Quinnipiac.
Well, you're easy to make fun of.
Thank you.
Here's Ortiz. No! Rejected by Wack. Wack from 16. He has 20 points. Burton couldn't answer. And Norfleet with the rebound. Norfleet. He can do just about whatever he wants out there.
Just great poise and great savvy. And here's the block. Greg's comes from the weak side. Here's the drive and kick. Nice pull-up. You know, I got a little pet peeve, and for you young viewers out there, please work on your weak hand. If you're going down the left side, when you lay the ball up with your right hand, you're exposing the ball to the shot blocker. Ortiz did that. If you use your left hand and put your body between the ball and the defender, he may block it, but you may get a basket You may get a foul or you may get both.
We've seen it a couple times from Marcus Burton. Norfleet makes them both. What a game. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. And a partridge in a pear tree. 8:20 left. The bounce up 73-55. Here's Rivers. Dwan Anderson. Moody. Tough. He has 13. Dave Popkin, Joe DeSantis, Paul Dottino, our NEC crew with you in Emmitsburg tonight, where Norfleet is held and fouled by Anderson. That's his 4th.
When we had Ryan Peters on, and we were talking about the NEC, and he was naming a lot of players, past and present, and comparing them to Norfleet's numbers, I don't think he said it, so I want to say it. This guy, this player, is going to draw some attention from pro scouts because he can handle, he's smart, and he can score.
He's definitely doing it in his senior year. 26 points. And 5 for 8 from the line tonight. Norfleet takes a rest. Jamian Christian, former Bucknell assistant, William and Mary. And Shaka Smart, very influential at VCU, where they play that Havoc system. A foul before the shot. 4th foul on Byron Ash. Both teams in the double bonus. 7:50 left. 75-57. Mount St. Mary's.
With a little under 8 minutes, they have 14. And that's attributed to this mayhem style that's creating 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and mismatches. Mount St. Mary's can follow up and get second shot opportunities.
Right, they don't have to rebound in the half court. Burton hits 1 out of 2, 75-58. The Mount on top, Wagner pressing. That's a long jumper for Rashad Wack. He has 23. And broken up. The Mount getting back on D. It was Wack. Mount St. Mary's takes their largest lead, 78-58. Norfleet hits again. Norfleet with 28.
Dave, he lulls you to sleep. He dribbles in place, he looks away, and all of a sudden he puts it into another gear, and he finishes like no one else in this league can.
Rivers. Under 7 minutes to play. Norfleet keeping the pedal to the metal. Danaher can't follow it. Ortiz on the break. 3-on-2. Burton. Mario Moody and 1. 15 for Mario Moody tonight.
Yeah, and 10 rebounds. He's got a double-double, and we're talking a ton about this Mount St. Mary's team, but Moody has had a great night tonight. Burton into the lane, draws the defense again. Danaher can't pull it down. Moody's one of those guys. He's like an old school player. Yeah, he can catch it at the top and spin and dunk and make athletic moves, but he's very fundamental around the basket, has a good nose for the ball.
16 points, 11 rebounds tonight. His 3rd double-double of the year, 6th of his career. Out of East Orange Campus High School in Essex County, New Jersey. Sam Prescott with the floater. And a reach-in foul on Rashad Wack. So Wack before hit the three and then hustled back on defense.
Yeah, here he is. He bangs the three. They're up 20 at that point, up 18. He bangs the three. And he also makes a hustle play on the defensive end. Now, that particular time, he fouled. And while you're Mount St. Mary's, you still want to play at that pace offensively and defensively with an 18-point lead at 6:09, but you don't want to foul. Here it is, here it is, here it is. There's the three. And now he sprints back. Knocks the ball away. Mount with another steal.
Latif Rivers, one of the top scorers in the NEC, has come off the bench and added 12 after making that free throw.
You know, when you trap and you press, when the offensive team makes a pass out of that trap, it's important that you sprint out of the trap. So this Mount team's in terrific condition.
Rivers with 14. The Elizabeth, New Jersey native. Back down the other end they go.
It's amazing how they continue to push the ball. The pace is up and down. They feel, even though when they make a mistake, it's keeping his guys fresh.
A final from the NEC. St. Francis Brooklyn wins on the road by 10 against Central Connecticut. The Mount led by 2 at halftime, and at one point went on a 19-5 run to blow this thing open. Rivers, good look to Anderson. Rivers on the rebound. He's trying his best out there. Latif Rivers has 16 off the bench.
And Wagner is staying with that stationary 4-out, 1-in, where they're just driving and trying to kick. I don't think Anderson's the guy you want taking a three.
For the Mount, along with Byron Ash. Rashad Wack continues to pour it on. He has 24 points tonight.
And one of the signs that you know that Mount is a well-conditioned team is that they can go to the line at the end of the game. You would assume they're tired, but they're not. So they step up and they make free throws late in the game.
Rivers off the mark. Danaher back in. He rebounds. Julian Norfleet has 28 points and 6 rebounds tonight. He has the ball. Off to Rashad Wack. Inside 5 minutes to go. We saw them do it last year. They made a run through the NEC tournament, made it to the final against LIU, upsetting Robert Morris. And the Mount could do it again. Explosive team. Rivers scores again for Wagner. He has 18.
And give Wagner credit. I think the experience is starting to show. They haven't given up. They made a steal. Ortiz, like he always does, makes a good decision. So they're only down 13, and there's a little over 4 minutes to go.
Wack. Guess it's okay to take a quick shot when you make it. Burton. And Norfleet knows. Let's slow it down a little bit. Now inside 4 minutes to go. There it is, another three. Byron Ash, they slow down for no one.
Another assist for Norfleet. Ash, the freshman, has the poise and the confidence. Beautiful stroke.
The Mount has scored 87 so far tonight against arguably the best defensive team in the league. Hasn't been too shabby today either. He has 25 points.
And for Wagner, that's Moody's 17th point. And the other positive for Wagner, Latif Rivers has 18. He's 7 for 10. Now he's played 25 minutes. That's supposed to be his limit, and he's still in there.
And Rivers hobbling a little bit over near his bench, but he has been terrific tonight.
Yeah, Bashir Mason does not want to give up on this game yet, but the moment he does, when he feels he can't catch this Mount team, Lateef Rivers will sit down. And again, he's had a great night.
Ortiz hits. Ortiz with 6. He also has 9 assists tonight. Time to run some clock here. Just over 3 minutes to go, up 87-74. This will be Mount's 8th straight NEC home win. 5-second violation.
And they played their interstate rivals very tough right there at Robert Morris home court.
Earl Brown has been a double-double.
Watching this game, or you're a local kid, or even if you're a kid out of town and you get sent this tape, now, I don't know what the rules are now if you can do that, but you got to be more than enthusiastic at a chance to play in this particular system.
Not only does Jamie and Christian have a couple of good freshmen coming in next year, but he has transfers sitting out that played at higher level schools. Andrew Smethers from Butler and Chris Martin from Marshall will be playing for the Mountaineers next year, so they are loading up.
And I still want to credit Wagner. They're within 11. They haven't given up. A stop and a 3. It's under 10. Use a timeout here and there. You might be able to cut this lead to a point where you believe you can win.
They were down 20 a few minutes ago. And the Mount turned it over. Wack and Norfleet with a miscommunication. The Mount just turned it over 15 times.
Yeah, and I had called for a 3 after the steal, but I'd be happy with a dribble drive to the basket. Get a foul, maybe an N1, use a timeout. You got to get something positive out of this possession.
Wagner can cut it to single digits.
See, they're fooling around a little bit too much looking for a 3. Just a straight-on drive to the rim.
Using a lot of clock, 15 on the shot clock. Anderson hits the banker. He has 12, and it's 87-78, and it's not over yet with 1:44 left. The Mount calls time. Jamie and Christian sent. Norfleet at 70. Whack. Goes head over tea kettle, and he bounces right back up, but he'll need to sit down for a moment. That was a huge tumble as he fell to the floor. See if this is a flagrant foul, and it is called flagrant against Wagner. Wack was airborne when he got hit.
And Moody showed good sportsmanship. He realized what he had done. He went over and asked him if he's okay. Here's the replay. He didn't try to hurt him. I just think he put himself, Moody did, in a position where he wanted to foul. But thank God Wack is in good shape right here, did not get hurt. Oh, that's dangerous. That's scary.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't take somebody's legs out from under him like that. As Wack hits the free throws, and the Mountain will get the ball. I saw it happen earlier this year at Seton Hall against Lafayette. Eugene Teague, similar play, fell on his head, and he's been out for a couple weeks with a concussion, and you see it all around basketball. And the officials try to crack down on it. John Adams and the officials across the country.
And you see Danaher in there, and you would think, okay, that's the guy you want to foul, but he's 87% from the free throw line.
Mount shoots 71% as a team. That's second in the league. Wagner not fouling. They're letting him run clock here. Down by 11. I don't understand. And Norfleet finally fouled with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and that's a bad foul.
Yeah, you don't want to foul with 10 seconds to go on the clock. You sit back, you play a little passively on defense, keep the man in front of you. But Wagner needs a quick score, probably a timeout, and then they need to start denying and double teaming and fouling right away.
They need to foul and shoot threes here as Norfleet misses the first. "28 points tonight, and he missed them both with just over a minute to go in an ever-tightening game." Burton, that's too easy. 9-point game. 13 for Burton. Wack, senior, pulls it out.
Believe it or not, Norfleet's the guy you want to foul. He just missed 2 in a row. He might be thinking a little bit too much, but you got to foul. Got to foul somebody.
Not doing it. 37 seconds left. 10 on the shot clock. There's a three. Norfleet misses. Mount gets the rebound, and that should do it. Shot clock will go off with 25 seconds left. And Wagner not trying to prolong this game. The Mount will just run out the clock on what was a very impressive offensive and defensive performance. Their turnovers keyed a lot of points tonight. 89-80 is your final score. Mount St. Mary's has won 8 straight in conference here at home. They're 5-1 at Knott Arena this year overall.